Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the 24-Day Seasons Challenge. We're going to do a live stream here tonight, and a special live stream actually. Not only, as promised from earlier, not only are we going to reveal the new farm tonight and one of the other little hidden surprises from this map, but we've got two very special guests in chat joining me tonight, keeping me company. Everybody say hi to Mr. Mark DuPont and, of course, Rubber Burner.
Hi, gang.
Hey, everybody.
So we're going to start this off, give it a chance for people to get on board. I need to get this field fertilized here, so we're going to start with this. And then we are going to move over to a new farm. We got to get some fields prepared. And we're going to reveal the pig farm tonight. And I think it's going to be a surprise to a lot of people. And I think one of our special guests that's in here tonight's gonna really like this farm, and we'll just say that. So
you got roped into this 24-day seasons by Farmer Klein too, eh?
Yeah, I think I fell and hit my head and hit it pretty hard. I think I hit it pretty hard because everybody's I don't know, I've got some happy people, and I got some I actually have some upset viewers, to be honest with you. They haven't seen any green yet. In fact, I think, Mark, yeah. I think you sent me that one of those messages. Somebody, I thought it was you that commented, what, no green?
Oh, right, that's right. You went super Ford and New Holland on this one. That's right.
Well, at least this farm.
It's good to switch that sucker up.
Yeah, we don't. Whoa, wrong button. Rubber Burner's here. There, I did it again.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Did it twice.
That's right. You remapped your wheel, didn't you?
No, I didn't get there yet. Well, that's on the agenda for tonight yet. Rubber Burner and I are going to do that.
There you go.
No, I've just been hanging out with Rubber Burner too much, I think.
I get blamed for everything that DoughBoy does wrong these days.
In all fairness, Rubber Burner, you've turned it into a trademark, so it's not bad.
Ooh, trademark.
Exactly.
That's an idea. That's how I can start the wrong money on this. Yeah.
Start getting intellectual property to hitting the wrong buttons.
Yep. And forgetting how to talk and running into things. Can't forget them.
That sets the bar pretty level for you to have a good show.
Now, people actually, I've had viewers of mine that have crossed over to watching Rubber Burner's channel, as he has, too. So a lot of his have come over with this whole county line deal. But I actually got a message on Facebook. This is a while back, but one of my viewers was like, "Thank you so much for pointing Rubber Burner's channel out. I love watching his videos. He's hilarious, and we like how he's real. The whole hitting the wrong buttons and running into things. I watch him just to wait to see what he runs into next."
I think a large majority of my viewers do.
Well, I think it was Farmer Plan who started the whole thing about we don't hit like until he rolls something.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not a bad level to set for entertainment.
No, it's great. Problem is, I've started doing it now. Whew.
Well, I think we all do it. I think it's just a question of now it just becomes part of the fun.
Yeah, that too.
What's your feeling on this 24-day thing? I mean, that's a lot of days of field prep.
I found, oh shoot, that's one thing I got to do. I forgot to do that. I'm glad you said that. I found, though, by him telling us to do it on 15x, it makes the videos doable in a single day type deal. I don't know. I haven't been in it long enough to really get a good feel. I'm worried that I'm doing things too fast.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think, and more
fields?
Well, I may have to. And the more I thought about it, it may not be too bad for me because of the direction I took with this map, utilizing all the different farms. However, I'm concerned that summertime I'm going to run out of things to do because the map has no industries.
Right.
And that I'm concerned about. But
well, do you have any grass fields that you can mow and that you can process during the summer season?
Yeah, there is a couple. I don't know if this map will show it up. Yeah, 26 is grass, 2, 22, 16, and 9. So yeah, there is grass fields, and I do own them. So I have that to work with, and there is a place where I can sell. You know, there is that industry, and you can sell your bales. So right. I'll be working with that, but I don't know.
So what about processing them so that you can get cows or something?
Well, yeah, that is my goal. I mean, I don't have any animals in here yet, so one of the things I'm going to be doing is prepping, you know, to be able to purchase them.
Right.
So you know, yeah, I will. You know, I'll be doing the fields, getting them set up, so that way I can get what I need to have all the animals. That was one thing I did different with this map, where normally I will start with animals already on board. Right. I didn't do that here.
Well, it actually makes more sense for you not to do it because your best price on cattle is going to happen mid to late summer.
Right.
So by the time you've got your grass work done, you're able to buy in your cattle. Now, whether or not you buy in your straw to complete your ration and to complete your feeding of the cows is entirely up to you. But what you can do is just hold off on the straw part until you get your wheat harvest in or your barley, and then take care of that because their maximum production of milk is only going to happen in the winter anyway.
Right.
So even if you lose a little bit of productivity in the summertime.
Yeah, that's definitely part of what I was thinking when I did it. And part of this is I have to give credit to Rubber Burner as well, because when I was setting it up, talking to him about doing this,
oh, we got somebody in chat there, right?
Yeah, Nico Minnick. If you're enjoying the video, thumbs up. Then if you subscribe, don't forget hit the notifications to get notifications. Well, thank you.
Yeah, got a little bell icon and everything. The king of the emos.
Not quite sure where that all came from, but awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, wrong button again. Okay, fire off. There we go. But yeah, that was, you know, with talking with Rubber Burner on setting it up, he pointed out, he's like, you know, something I'd like to see you do. He says, I'd really like to see you grind one out. Well, I didn't take that advice completely. Like, I'm not grinding it out from like bare bones what the map started you with and, you know, earn the money to get what you want.
No.
But I met him halfway. I got what I wanted, but there's still a lot of stuff that I'd like to grow into, and that's what I'm going to do there. And there is some forestry in this map, so you know, I can get into that to eat up some time. So we'll see.
Well, I think that because it's a 24-day season, and because the likelihood of you going into a second year is not all that huge, because by then you'll have, you know, 96 hours into this map.
Right.
That, you know, the idea that you might upgrade equipment, because by the time you get to the point where you're upgrading equipment, your stuff will already be growing and all that, and you're not going to get another chance to replant it.
Right.
So that's sort of the thing where, you know, the fact that you're using medium-sized equipment is probably a benefit to you, because you'll be able to fill those 24 days with the right amount of work, and then by the time you get bored doing that job, it's time to do something else, and you're not going to see the fertilizing job for another, you know, 100 days or so.
Right. And then, you know, the other thing, I may fall and hit my head again and decide to take it out for another year just for sake of doing it because I like the map.
Yeah, that's it.
Which I do.
This map that speaks to you?
What's that?
What is it about this particular map that spoke to you that made you decide to do this one?
That it's pretty. It's American styled. Like I said it earlier in my stream this morning. You know, I look at American style maps, which there aren't many of them, and they fit into two categories for me. There's an American map, and then there's an American style map. The one that I'm going to be debuting later on, that I was talking about briefly before we started, that's coming out with Cletus T. Weiler, that one, the first episode not only is going to be a special dedication, so I hope everybody tunes into it, but that map is amazing. I mean, absolutely, it's what I've been waiting for. And that one falls into a true American map. I mean, it is realistic, it down to the T. A lot of the things that I've complained about in maps are not in this one. You know, like I've complained about several times that, you know, on an American farm, I mean, I don't know how it is across the pond, but on an American farm, these main silo systems that are on all the maps, we don't have them here. Farmers can't afford them. You know, your silo system is grain bins. You know, you have a grain bin for each grain that you harvest. The only central silo systems are that on at the grain centers. You know, and the other thing that I complained about is the fact, why is that coming up like 3 times?
Because he's getting a little bit spammy. Nico, don't spam, please.
That's a bunch of times.
Yeah. It almost looked like the it's very similar to one of my yeah, it's one of the almost looks like one of the timers that I have set for Nightbot, and I was having issues with Nightbot. I was kind of wondering if it, but anyhow, the other thing that I was complaining about was that you're on a farm. You can't buy grain or seeds, fertilizer, all that stuff at your farm. You know, and I understand why they put them on the maps, because, you know, people want to have a central place where they can get it. You got to have it. But this is Farming Simulator. You know, I play it as a farming simulator, not as a farming arcade game.
That's it.
You know, so I like to have that where I need it to be, not, you know, not there. And this map has this. You don't have any of those things.
Right.
Oh, no problem, Nico. I mean, I really appreciate you throwing it out there. It's definitely a great thought, but it doesn't have to be every minute and repeating. But
and Nightbot actually does it too. So.
Yeah, Nightbot will do it too.
Throw it out there when we hit 10 people watching. Throw it out there one more time.
Yeah, that's perfect. But yeah, with that map, it doesn't have that. So that map's an American map to me. You know, that's dead on what I'm looking for. This map, I really liked it because it's very American styled. I mean, I don't know how much more to explain it, but that's pretty much why I went on to it.
No, definitely the field shape and the you know, my problem with most quote unquote American maps is that they feel like what Goldcrest Valley is, which is kind of an arcade German version of what America might look like if you've ever only been to Disney World.
Right.
And that's sort of my biggest point of contention with most American maps. And for me, things like County Line and things like Upper Mississippi Valley have that very much the kind of countryside that you're used to just driving through and seeing in real life. And that's something that I feel like the Europeans have nailed more, and the English have nailed more in their style of farms than the stuff that comes out as quote-unquote American style maps. So to see a map with the strange fields and to see a map with actual businesses that are in the American countryside, those are the kind of things that speak to me.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if the British or I don't know if those giant centrally placed silos are more of a British invention or a German invention, or did it just come out of back in the day and frankly the way that most people play this game, which is arcade style? Is it just that have those silos always just ended up in all maps to satisfy that audience?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. But I think you will definitely enjoy the map that I'm debuting. In fact, I think you know the map I'm going to debut.
Yeah, okay.
Farmer Klein did a big video on it, and I think he's actually doing it on one too. But It's Upper Mississippi River Valley.
That's the one. That's an amazing. That's an amazing project.
Yes, it is, and I'm one of those. I'm usually very, very leery about putting a beta map on my channel, because, well, if you've watched any of my stuff, you realize that I've got issues with maps as it is. About the time I get so far into a map, the next thing happens, something happens to it. However, I could not walk away from that map. There's just no way.
That's it. It feels like home, right? I mean,
yes.
I don't come from the same region you do, but I know that from years and years of riding motorcycles through the heartland of America, that when you do cross the Mississippi in places like Missouri and Iowa and up in Illinois and stuff like that, that's the countryside you're used to seeing. Those are the roads you're used to traveling down.
Yep. Those are the fields that, you know, you got big fields and little fields, and you got outcroppings of trees coming in. Yeah. So, and I mean, it's no surprise to my viewers. I've already mentioned it several times over that that's the map that's coming out. So they know it's coming. And they also know that it's going to be quite different. So they're, you know, hopefully they're looking forward to it. But I'm dying to play the map, and I just did the reason why it's not out yet is I did a couple just minor edits that I've done several times over. Sorry, I got to chat here real quick. Nico Mini, can I ask you a farm related question? Of course you can. Ask away, buddy. I just did some minor edits that we did on County Line, and next thing you know, I go into the map and now I've got all kinds of errors that showed up. So we've got to fix that. Oh wow, that GPS is not right.
No, I think you're still at the width of your sprayer.
Might be. But anyway, we have to, I got to fix that. Or it would have been out actually last week, but I will get that going. Hopefully.
So what kind of things were you trying to do? Were you trying to move sell points and things like that?
No, actually all I did was on County Line, we put some storage facilities in for grains, fertilizers, and so that way once we got to the point we could either buy in bulk and store it on the farm like you would do in real life, or you could in County Line there's places where we can produce it, so then we could store what we produced. I put them on the map, and then I exchanged. He had said if you've watched any of his live streams, he said that one of the things he wants to do is take the fuel trigger off, because he doesn't agree with the fact that you buy fuel at your farm, which you don't.
No.
Now he wants to try to go and put a way that it can be delivered. Yep. But what we did on County Line, we have that fuel tank that you can fill with your biogas, or go buy fuel and then fill it, and then you have it for your tractors. I put that on so that I could keep it realistic, because my biggest thing with that map is it's so realistic that I want to do the map justice by continuing to play that way. So I put them on, and it just all of a sudden, not only did it throw up, I must have screwed up somewhere in that, because I got an issue with my what I did, but it also unveiled some map errors.
Right.
But if I put in the original map, the errors aren't there. And it's like, it's really confusing. Nico wants to know what my favorite crop is, my favorite tractor, and my favorite harvester. Well, my favorite equipment, that'll answer the harvester, the tractor, all that in one question. Anything green. I am a John Deere man through and through. I bleed green. So anything green is my favorite. My favorite overall John Deere tractor would be the 8530. Just
go big or go home.
Yep, I like that tractor. As far as my favorite crop, that's a tricky one. I've never had actually anyone ask me that, so that's a good question. I'd have to say my favorite crop to plant would be corn. Or no, beans, soybeans, because it's simple. You really can't mess it up. Corn, when you plant it, a pallet of corn seed costs about $10,000. So if you screw up planting corn, you're wasting money real quick, and you got to be very particular on it to get the rows right for the harvest time and that kind of thing. So I'd say my favorite crop to plant is beans. My favorite crop to harvest is corn. So that would pretty much be that. But as far as the harvesters and the tractors, anything green.
The one thing I do wish is that we have multi-terrain angle now when you're working the fields, and I do wish that multi-terrain angle worked with the corn rows, so that if you plant them in the wrong direction, they turn with the planting.
Yeah.
That to force you to actually plant them realistically in rows.
Exactly.
I think that would be an interesting add-on to the multi-terrain angle.
Yeah, I wish they'd do that too, because that's one of the things I'd like to do is actually do you know, with these fields, some of these maps I find myself playing it like everybody else does, and you just do what, you know, makes sense, whatever. With that map, I'm going to do my best to pull out more of a realistic planting approach and, you know, working the fields more realistically. Yeah. Because they just did add multi-angle terrain to it, and you know the plant where the soil textures actually follows the way it doesn't go 90 degrees to the way you're pulling the implement. So I'm going to try it to the best that the game will allow me. We'll put it that way.
You know what I would recommend to you also on that map and any map that you want to play realistically is to turn on your field creation whenever you're plowing.
Yeah, because it gets tree.
Nothing more. It is.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, he didn't hit it. He was okay. He kind of nudged it.
I nudged it with the weight.
But yeah, no, it's like, it's especially on County Line. You know how on County Line he's got those jagged edges to the fields and all that? By turning on your field creation when you first go out and do your plowing, it gives the map a completely different feeling. It gives the map something like more of a handmade feeling.
Yeah, true.
Which is really interesting. And anytime you're playing a map that has been drawn out with very interesting shapes and all that, doing it with the Y button pushed in gives you that ability to then go around and recreate the fields and to give them your own handmade feeling. And if you don't seed every square foot of that field and seed what you're capable of seeding, then by the time you get to harvest time, your field edges really look homemade.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that is a good point. I think I may have to do that.
Yeah,
because I find that with the mechanic, with sort of the drawn in field limitations, you end up with something that is so clean and so crisp that it takes away a lot of the realism. If you've ever walked around a field at harvest time and you see the stuff that they leave behind because it's not cost effective to run a harvester through that area and stuff like that, then that's the stuff that I'm used to seeing, and that makes it feel like somebody had to think about this. Somebody had to think about where they were going to run that machine.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And you know, you get the end of harvest time, you still have corn sticking up in some places that the harvester couldn't get into. And
even when if you're running a like a spade plow, well, when you go out and plow a field, you don't come back and replow the field at a 90-degree angle to what you plowed the rest of the field at. Whatever's left on the edges is left on the edges.
Yeah.
Those guys don't come around and just big headlands with plows.
Now,
like a disc plow, in which case you
disc,
turn that thing any way you want.
A disc plow, you're right. We'll do it with because, excuse me, because we're trying not to. Because a lot of times in the headlands is where your tractor drives. How many times over it compacts the ground?
Yeah.
So if you got a disc plow, then you know I do it all the time because I'm trying to loosen that ground up that I just compacted.
So what I tend to do is I do all the inside stuff first. Like I'll do my ups and down first, and then wherever I was turning my tractor on the edges, that's what I do last. So now that you've got the entire field absolutely broken up and loose and perfect, now you go and fix the stuff that you did because you were
right. Similar to what I'm doing here.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah.
Which I'm debating. So I'll throw this out to you guys and Nico there. I don't know how, I can't see how many viewers are actually. Oh, we got 5. I was kind of hoping to have a little bit of a bigger stream to reveal this new farm on, but if you guys want to see it, if you think I should do it, we'll take a pause on this field and I'll come back and get it later, and we'll move over to the new farm. What do you think?
I think you should carry on for a little while longer, because I think Mr. Klein is on live at this time also.
Oh, is he?
And,
oh,
yeah,
darn!
so
I didn't get a notification.
We may wait for him to pop off, and maybe those people will come back and see your reveal.
Yeah, I didn't get the notification for him.
No, neither did I, but yes, he is live, yeah. I might not have his bell, but yeah, I do. I've got his notifications before.
No. Listen, YouTube is so fruity right now on notifications. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah, that's very true, yeah.
Month have been absolutely insane. I've been getting notifications for stuff that, you know, like even with Delta Bravo, I'm on the darn stream, and all of a sudden 10 minutes into it I get a notification that he's on.
Yeah.
But I applaud you for the size of equipment you're using, DoughBoy. It's quite appropriate for someone who's starting out, and it's going to give you lots of stuff to do for 24 days.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I know my tractors, got a little carried away with tractors, but let's face it, Farm Sim doesn't exactly do proper horsepower ratings for their implements. No. So you kind of got to go with newer, bigger tractors regardless. But part of the reason why I did that is, one, it's equipment that I've wanted to use before, but never did because it's not green.
Yeah. That's it.
But it's equipment that I've been wanting to try. I mean, this whole thing of me using other equipment, it's not killing me. Yeah, that was never the intention. No. When I started out YouTubing, John Deere's my favorite. That's what I started with. Well, I kind of got a name for it, so now for me not to use it, it shocks people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was part of the...
razzing you than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, that was part of my decision factor here. The other part of it was the fact that I didn't want to go too big, even though the fields are big, because I wanted to have time to do things. And in real life farming, a field this size should take you about half a day to disc. Yeah. You know, and with this set at this, now it's a little bit more with, you know, we're already at noon, you know, so we've already been on it for, well, I can't even say that because we fertilized the one field first, but it's a little closer to realistic.
Yeah. Farm Sim, and the thing that I often sort of lose people on is that it's really about doing the work. There's just as much value as spending a full day disking a field as there is in harvesting the field.
Right.
You know, you're doing the work that's necessary to be done so that you can get your crop in.
Yeah, and that harvest is only as good as the work you put into it.
If you put prepping your fields and making sure you get to the third stage of fertilization and making sure you do the plowing, the rewards of doing the harvest are tenfold.
Right.
Whereas if you just rush through it to get to the harvest, well then yeah, you're having fun driving a combine, but you don't have that feeling of, man, I saw this field when it was just, you know, stubble, and then I made it into a perfect field, and then I saw the first stage because I fertilized everything in the first stage, and then,
right,
you know, people kind of miss out on driving through their fields with row crop tires and doing a third stage of fertilization and actually seeing those stages in the fields.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I got on Rubber Burner during County Line. You know, we spent a lot of time discussing. People don't realize how much time went into that series alone. I mean, they realized that we were talking about it for a while and, you know, kind of wetting the whistle, and it took a while before it came to fruition. But what they really didn't realize is how much time we actually put involved by doing it. You know, talking about how are we going to farm? How are we going to do this? What's the storyline going to be to back it up? But that was one of the main things we talked about. Like, he asked me, well, how do you fertilize? You know, when do you do what? I said, well, one of the way I always looked at it is the one stage of fertilization is very realistic that they did, and you don't change it that often, and that's fertilizing while you're planting. You know, you always have a type of fertilizer, whether you mix it with the seed or you got it in the tanks, you're fertilizing while you're planting. So there's one. If you've got two more, typically what I try to do is I'll decide whether I'm going to use chemical fertilizer or natural. And obviously in this stage we're using chemical because we don't have animals to produce natural.
Right.
In real farming, I'll use natural fertilizing first. I'll use, you know, what I'm mixing with the planting during seeding, and then after the first stage of growth, then I usually contract out and have the big sprayer come in and do it. And and that's what I carry over into farm sim, and because I like, again, driving through it with the row crop tires, and I even like getting those, you know, the tracks in the field, to be honest with you. And then, you know, Rubber Burner was like, well, I never thought about it. I never did it that way. That could be interesting. And
no,
that's
because I play much more arcade style for the most part. I mean, I strive for semi-realism, you know. So it was a whole new game plan for me.
Yeah.
So Nico asked you a question.
Yep. He says, sorry to interrupt, but do you actually work and own a farm? No and yes. I used to work on a farm. Not too long ago actually, and I lost the job because the farmer's trying to go organic, and he bit off more than he could chew by hiring me as the farm boss, and then I had 2 workers under me. He had to let me go because he couldn't pay the wages. However, he does plan on bringing me back as soon as all the paperwork goes through, because organic farming is a lot more lucrative and a lot more money making once you get it all done. But it's a long process before you start reaping the money benefits. So he had to let me go, but he's planning on trying to bring me back. So no, I don't currently work a farm, but yes, I do own one. I live on one. I bought my grandparents' farm from the estate when they passed away, because they basically raised me, and I didn't want to see the house or the farm go to somebody I didn't know. So I bought it from the estate, but what I did with it, we have approximately 80 acres. Some of it's tillable and plantable. The other part is wooded, so I got my wonderful hunting area because I'm a country boy through and through, and I love my hunting. But my grandparents, they worked their farm while they were younger, and as they got older, they wanted to enjoy their life and enjoy money. And while my grandfather liked his tractors, he spent many years working it by hand and decided he wanted out of it. So he had a gentleman wanted to purchase about an quarter acre of land off of him to build a house. He sold him that acres. Then that same gentleman got into farming and asked if he could lease the property. So he's been leasing to my grandparents for probably 10-15 years prior to them passing. And I just continued to lease when I bought the farm. So he leases from me now. So he does all the farming on it.
So what does he grow?
Right now he's got beans in the ground. I'm pretty sure they're beans, to be honest with you. I haven't talked to him on his plan. Usually he goes back and forth. One season he'll do corn, the next season he'll do beans. It's either... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's in now.
Yeah.
I know he was talking about doing. He's got some winter crops in, and like a winter. I don't want to say winter wheat, but like some kind of winter grass. It's almost resembles hay, but you harvest it with a harvester. And I've been meaning to talk to him about it because it's new to me. I've never experienced. I'm traditional farming. I'm soybeans, corn, wheat.
Right.
And this was kind of new to me, but I don't get involved in it. He does what he wants to do, and I get a check at the end, usually right around Thanksgiving, Black Friday. He usually shows up with a check so I can go Christmas shopping.
Nice.
Now let's miss the tree. Oh, ooh, that was close. We did it though.
So do you ever play the Hunter, Call of the Wild?
No, I have not. I just got.
What do you usually hunt?
What do I hunt? I hunt anything. White-tailed deer, small game, turkey. You know, in real life, I'll go hunting anything. I just haven't really gotten into. I know there's a couple games like that's one of them that I wouldn't mind trying at some point, but honestly, I've never really been a gamer. It was one of the. It's really, my story's really weird, and you know, it's in the very first video I put out was called Meet DoughBoy. I go into a pretty good detail with it in that, but to make a long story short. A buddy of mine posted a little video on Facebook of him harvesting a field, you know, on Farm Sim, and I looked at it and I'm like, I knew better. I knew it wasn't, you know, real, obviously, but it was that realistic to me. I'm like, is that a game? And I texted him. He's like, yeah, it's this game called Farm Sim. It's on the PS4. And he says you need to get it. It's awesome. I love it. Well, I didn't have a PS4. I have a PS3. So I went out and I got FS15 and I started playing it, and I always joke around, I don't have a mod problem. Denial's the first stage. But I hated on the PS3, you know, one, not very many mods are available to you.
And not a single John Deere.
And not a single John Deere. And the way they do their slots, like I found myself constantly selling off equipment to buy the equipment I need to do the next stage. Okay. And I got tired of it, and I'm like, I started watching YouTube videos like that's why I tell you I'm envious of you, because you're a moderator for Landy Kid and you guys chat on TeamSpeak, and he is, I would love someday, I know a lot of people say it, but I owe a lot of what I'm doing and a lot of like my ideas and how I don't want to say I skyrocketed up, because I didn't, but I did get a little bit more popular than what I'm comfortable with, because it wasn't my intention when I did it. You know, to start YouTubing, it was just to add to the fun of the game to me. But a lot of it I owe to, like, you know, Landy Kid was one of the first people that I've watched, and I can honestly say I owe a lot to him, because I could stay involved with him. He's a very good, you know, voice, keeps your attention. You know, I'd like to meet him, and you know, heck, I'd even like to play, you know, a live stream or, you know, a multiplayer with him, just even for 5 minutes. You know, I think it. You know, if he stepped into one of my live streams, I think I'd go quiet and have the whole, you know, celebrity reaction. Just because I look up to him. You know, he's an excellent guy, and a little bit that I have talked to him via, you know, a message here or there, he just seems like a very nice guy. And then there's others like Grizzly Bear Sims was the next one that, you know, really got me into it. And I got my ideas for the storylines from him. And then Eustace Pharmer, you know, they got me into, you know, what I do now, watching them, and then I'm like, I got to get a PC, and that's how I got where I am. You know, I went out, I bought a Best Buy open box computer, played it for a little while, realized that even though I took the specs, they sold me something that wouldn't hold up, and upgraded it a little bit here and there, and now Rubber Burner and I are getting ready to build a PC, a gamer station, and as you'll see probably tomorrow, I'm going to be putting the final part 2, the final part of the DoughBoy's game layer video up, because it's finished. I'm in it now, and now I haven't mapped the controls, so I'm not using all my toys yet, but I'm playing on it, sitting in my room, and just big Kool-Aid smile on my face. Because I'm not in the family room, the open room with all the dogs bothering me and the kids running in all the time, and
yeah.
But yeah, that's
the thing, right? Is that when you get into this game and you start playing it, the amount of immersion that you go through, and how you progress in it to eventually really start making like it's a whole other world. There, it's all available to you. You can stop at just playing it arcade style, but you know, things like I invested in something in head tracking.
Yep, I have that.
As soon as I went to head tracking, I play everything first person. that level of immersion that you get from sitting in the tractor, looking over your shoulder at your plow, looking over your shoulder at your cultivator, and lining yourself up and paying attention to the rows and all that stuff. That's what really turns my crank.
Yep, I do a lot of first person too in videos, but I enjoy it. I love it, absolutely love it. Especially like driving the semi trucks. Backing them up's a different story. I'll go out to back them up because it's just you don't have the same field of vision. But I've found, like, I keep going back and forth between the two. Like, I know I'm sitting here just because I'm chatting. If I go first person, I'm going to be a little bit more quiet. But I like to show off the map, and by being third person or whatever you want to call this, outside the tractor, I can zoom out, I can scroll around, let people see the map for what it is.
That's it. Well, that's the difference between sometimes what I find playing the game and showing the game.
You're right.
Even when when I'm doing my videos, there are large chunks of what I do which are in third person. And that is just because I'm going to be doing a time lapse. And a time lapse in first person, there's nothing more annoying than a first person time lapse.
Yep.
All you're seeing is my head spinning from left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right.
Right.
So stuff like that, you have to do the third person stuff. And like you said, to show off the map and to get that feeling of a machine moving through the field and changing the landscape, that only happens in third person. For raw immersion, that you just sit in your cab and you grab your coffee and a smoke and you just do the farming job.
Yep.
And will give you that, and it'll allow you to do that in a way that that frankly I totally fell in love with.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I went out and spent the money I did. I can't wait to get these controls mapped that I can use my wheel and whatnot, because just having that. And you'll see another little in that video, if you and it's only like a 2-minute video. It's just real short, showing off my my room. But I took the extra time, and it kind of looks like I'm sitting in a tractor. I did some little construction, and it's pretty cool. I'm anxious.
It's Delta to make me some joysticks now.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I want to throw up.
I want one small joystick on each side of my wheel.
Yep.
So that when it comes time to do loader work and stuff like that, I have a couple of hydraulics available to me.
Yep. I want to do it for when it's time to do forestry. So when I'm in the Scorpion King or the excavator, or if I'm running around on a skid loader, I've got the joysticks.
That's it.
And I will have. I just want to get used to this, but the price that I picked up my one joystick for, it's like I was talking in I think it was Farmer Klein's live stream. I'm going to pick up a second one, and if I can't map it, oh well, I got a spare. I can put up on the shelf, and I got a spare. It's not going to break my bank, but I definitely want to get 2 of them for doing that. If I could only figure out how to do it for like the skid loader and the excavators, that when you're turning, one sticks forward, one sticks back. That's going to be a little weird because I'm not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's built in yet.
No.
I think that at some point somebody's going to have to write the script for that.
It'll be the same as Gearbox Mod. Somebody eventually will come out with that script.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's a guy actually who's got a YouTube video, and he's managed to make his Ponzi 2-joystick drive. And I don't know if he uses both joysticks to go, or if he has one joystick to drive and the other one to turn and to do the tool handling. But it was pretty impressive watching him work with the 2 joysticks.
Well, he probably has his joystick set up like what I call cat controls. Like a Caterpillar control, a Caterpillar joystick, you don't go front and back on a joystick to turn it. You actually, if you move that joystick to the right, the computer in the unit actually tells the tracks which direction to go to turn it. You move it to the left, it turns left. You push forward, it goes forward. You push back, it goes back. So that's probably how he has that mapped.
But which is actually fairly realistic, because I was watching a real life video of how the track John Deere works and the track Challenger.
Yep.
And they run wheels in those things in real life. I always thought the track Challenger should be a a joystick control or a pedal control like the old bulldozers I used to run back in the day.
Right.
But they don't. They actually do run off a wheel.
Yeah, yep. A lot of the newer ones will. That's so you can get away with it that way. It's just not the way I want to map it because I'm used to the old controls where, you know, 2 sticks forward sends the skid loader forward. Bring 2 sticks back, you're going back.
Yeah. And then the foot controls, like the foot controls to run the bucket.
Well, see, that's I don't like them. I always liked it where,
No,
yeah, you know, I like I should have rephrased that. I shouldn't have said in a skid loader, because in a skid loader I like the cat controls. I like it where the one joystick, you know, controls that, the other joystick controls the loader. Because my wood chips, I don't have any. I don't think I do. My feet are too big. I'm too tall. My feet are too big. So it actually hurts my ankle if I'm in a skid loader with foot controls for too long. Not that I can't. No, I don't have any wood chips.
Yeah.
Not that I can't do them, but I prefer. But in an excavator, you know, that's where I like the 2 joysticks to control the direction. Not, you know, I don't want to move the joystick right and it automatically turns right. You know.
See, all of my construction equipment experience is 30 years old now.
Right.
So, you know, one of my favorite tools was always the little Bobcat, which was 2 joysticks to, like, 2 big sticks to drive it, and then your foot controls for your front loader.
Yep.
And that was just amazing. Working those, because I used to do underground parking lots.
Okay.
Paving underground parking lots, so we were running those indoors, and it was the most incredible feeling.
Yep, I used to run them inside of places like Gander Mountain. We built 2 Gander Mountain stores and running them inside.
That's it, moving aggregate around from the outside to the inside. And,
yep. Yeah, I'm familiar with the controls. I just don't like the controls.
No. And the other one that I used to run is a cat backhoe.
Yep.
And that one had the foot controls and the dual joysticks too, and that was a lot of fun.
Right. So is Farmer Klein still alive? I'm assuming so. I think we might be pushing off the reveal till a little later, because we're at that coming up on the magic number. Although I wasn't told that dinner was ready yet, so I guess I could go a little longer.
Dinner.
But on the same time, yeah, we're having a late supper because we were working on finishing this up. But I kind of like to have a good amount of people in the stream to reveal something like that.
Yeah. What the heck is he running?
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's going big. He's not going your way. He's going big.
Oh yeah. Is he doing the 24? Is that what he's streaming too?
He's on your reveal map.
Oh yep, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
He's actually
his other piece of madness, which is, you know, harvesting every single field on that map.
Yeah. Well, he's doing 2 maps for the 24 day, isn't he? Because he's got that one started that way, and he was doing Churn Farm. Whoa, I'm stuck.
You know, for me, this whole idea of the 24 day season is brilliant, but I wouldn't do it until I can do what you do, which is stream it.
Yeah.
Have a setup where I would wake up in the morning and then go spend 1 hour on my farm, stream it, and just, you know, get up early, do my farming in the morning, get it ready to go, and then carry on with my day. And that's the only way I would do it. I don't think I would want to do it as a series, and right now all I do is edited series.
Right.
And for that, I think it's just too much work.
No, I don't blame you there, and that was why I jumped to it because it came to me at the right time. I was looking to get a couple other maps to stream that, and there for the longest time I was like, I don't want to have multiple maps going because I don't like playing a map without seasons anymore. I just don't. And I didn't want to have multiple maps going because eventually they all catch up.
Yeah.
And I was so worried about that. And actually, Farmer Klein, I had a long conversation with him, and he's the one who actually talked me into it. Because I made the comment that as much as I don't want to do it, I'd like to have a couple maps set up for live stream that I can just say, okay, I feel like playing this map tonight. Let's stream this one. And I can do multiple streams. Instead of doing one 6-hour live stream, I could do 3 or 4 1-hours on different maps, and then people will actually watch the archived. Because people don't watch a 4 or 5 hour archived live stream.
No.
I do when I'm modding. I'm just
well,
that out there.
Yeah, when you... I don't like that. Anyway, yeah, in a situation like that, you would, but...
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
I don't see that you're getting the same viewers. So I wanted to do that, but I made the comment. I said, but it scares me because am I going to lose viewers? Because who's going to want to watch me plow for day after day after day on, even though it's different maps, it's plowing. And then he pointed out, he's like, look, man, he says, and the whole old guy farmer challenge is what really sealed the deal for me. Because if there's that many people in that challenge, and there's that many viewers that are coming back day after day after day, because I'm like you, Mark. With me being out on the road, I'm a moderator for quite a few people, and it works for me. So I'm in these chats, and I'm seeing the same names of people watching them, and people like Farmer Klein. What's he doing? He's doing grass work and logging, rubber burners, logging, day after day after day, and these people are watching it, and I'm like. And Farmer Klein pointed out, he said they don't come to you to watch what you're doing on this. They do to an extent, but they like your videos and they come to your streams and your videos because they like what you're bringing to the table on it. So then that kind of sealed the deal. I'm like, you know what? Then as I get time, there's a bunch of maps out there that I would love to put my hands into. I'm just going to get a couple of them that are set up, ready to go. That. Hey, tonight I feel like doing, Oregon Springs. Tomorrow I feel like doing whatever, But
and you've got different kinds of game style too, right? So I mean, you're doing County Line as a multiplayer and as a role play. You're doing this one more as a radio show / farming in the background.
Right.
You can do a third map instead of doing it on 24-day seasons. Just do it on 6-day seasons.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
That one's going to roll a lot faster and do it with different style of equipment and a different scale of thing. Yeah,
I'm definitely not doing another 24-day.
No, that's it. But like if your 24-day season becomes your regular chit-chat type show, then that's its own thing. Then people will join for you to chit-chat, to hear the conversation.
Right.
And meanwhile, if you're doing something that's got a bit more urgency, like my next map, I want to do on 3-day seasons at 15 times, which means that basically it's going to be 1 hour per day, and it means that I'm going to have to choose what I do. I won't be able to plow all my fields the same year, but I can plow one of the fields and then plant everything and then fertilize everything and then try to seed everything. It means that you're not going to be running everything at 100%. But it also means that every 12 days you have a harvest.
Right.
And there's no way that that's going to time out at the same speed as your 24-day season or your 6-day season or whatever else you're running.
Right.
Because everybody has the same complaint about seasons. They say it slows the game down too much. It's like, well, it depends what settings you have it at. If you're running 15 times on a 3-day, let me tell you something, there's going to be a sense of urgency to everything you do.
Oh, yeah.
And especially, I refuse to work nights. So, at the end of my day, whatever I got done, that's what I got done. I can't, if I can't wake up early in the morning to do my seeding and then get it done in a day, well, maybe I'm trying to bite off too much. Maybe I need a smaller field. Maybe I can only do a partial field that season because I ran out of time.
Right.
And it's sort of it's letting the seasons and letting the time dictate your farming instead of trying to decide what kind of farming you want to do and then scaling everything around that.
Yeah, no, I like that. I'm the same way when it goes to the nights. You know, I'll work into the evening a little bit, just like I would in real life. I'll work into it a little bit. But not only is it hard for me to see what I'm doing, it's hard for the viewers to follow too.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, like.
And it's easy on a stream to get sort of wrapped into the whole thing about, oh, you know, well, I got a lot of people here now, so I want to keep going. But maybe there's also something to be said about letting people, you know, letting them want more, letting them want to come back because they had a good time the last time they were.
Yeah. Well, that's the way you know.
Thing.
Yep, and when I'm doing a stream, I'll play that by ear. You know, if you know, sometimes I'll skip the night and we'll keep the stream going. A lot of it depends on whether, you know, how I'm feeling as far as playing.
That's it.
You know, like tonight, I know I don't want to do I picked this one to stream. Not only, I do have another one set up. I'm just not feeling it to play it.
Yeah.
But I picked this map because I know I only go for about an hour. Because I like, you know, to give that opportunity for people to be able to watch the archive because it being the challenge map.
Yeah.
So I like to keep it about that, but I knew that I'd only have about an hour before it's time to go eat dinner. Rubber Burner and I, we have to record County Line tonight, and he's being so kind as to help me get my controls map so I can start playing with more realism and, you know, get more into the game. Plus, you know, fix a couple things. So that's a lot to do tonight, and it's already 10:30 my time, 11:30 his.
That's it.
You know, like I might just.
Look at that. Like, you know, you've all you got now is a headlands to do, and it's 7:45 in game.
Yep.
Absolutely. In real life, if you were a farmer, you'd get that sucker done.
Yep.
But if you're only halfway through that field, you know,
you're parking the tractor.
Do you work till 3 o'clock in the morning, or do you know?
Absolutely not.
Leave the tractor in the field and walk home, and then come back in the morning and finish the job.
That's exactly what you do because you tend to screw more things up at night.
That's it.
You know, as far as
you're cultivating, you're going to run over rocks, you're going to break discs, you're going to do all sorts of stuff that, you know, it's not worth the energy of working right through the night. And you're going to be just bagged and exhausted. And tomorrow's another day, right?
Yep.
Farmers are notorious for just, okay, well, tomorrow we start again. We're going to get it done.
Well, it's getting foggy. Yeah, no, I will not work too late into the night on the real farm unless I'm that far behind schedule and I have to, or if I know rain is coming.
That's it, yeah. Weather will dictate when you have to work extra, right?
Yep, like right here, I know, you know, we've got tomorrow, we've got a good day yet, but then Monday it's supposed to rain, so.
Yeah.
And I'm to a stage where I could start putting seeds in the ground, but
So here's a real world farming question for you.
Yes,
on a
sir.
rainy day, would you spread fertilizer?
Yes.
And on a rainy day, would you shoot manure?
That not really, because you get, it depends on, ooh, now I am getting rain. Speaking of rain, it depends on what you're doing. If you're slinging dry manure, no, because you'll get a better sling when it's dry.
Right.
But if you're spreading slurry, then it really don't matter.
Right. That's 1% water to your mix anyway.
Right. Because you're spraying it, you know, it's not, the rain isn't going to affect that.
That's it.
Now some farmers, they'll tell you different. You know, some farmers won't spread a, you know, like fertilizer's tough. If I've got a covered wagon, a covered fertilizer wagon, and I'm pressed for time, yeah, I'll spread it in the rain because it's going to help dissolve it and get it right into the ground quicker. As long as the fields aren't mud and I'm not getting stuck.
That's it.
But if I don't have a covered wagon, a covered spreader, then no, I'm not, because now my product's getting soaked and it's not going to spread.
That's it.
So we're going to let this tractor sit right here in the field because the next field we need to cultivate is just up the road. My daughter just came down and tossed me a note that says dinner's ready. So I'm going to go up and get it. I'm kind of crossing my fingers that they won't be upset if I bring it down to eat at my desk so Rubber Burner and I can get moving on with what we want to do, because I know you guys want to see County Line and you want to see what else is in store. So I'm sorry, viewers, that we did not reveal the new farm tonight, but I'm kind of hanging on to that. I'd like to have a good stream, so maybe tomorrow morning's coffee and cereal we'll get to that. I do plan on, as long as I can get my rear end out of bed in the morning, I do plan on being with you in the morning with coffee with DoughBoy. So if that'll happen, yeah, I know, we'll be at it tomorrow, and if we get some good numbers, we'll reveal a new farm. So spread the word. I want to thank everybody for coming into the chat that was there. Nico, appreciate you coming in, and those viewers that are going to watch the replay, thank you for stay tuning. Leave some comments down below, some feedback. Make sure you hit a like when you do view this. And finally, I'd like to say a huge thank you out there to Mr. Mark DuPont and Rubber Burner for keeping me company and keep this show talking here tonight. Appreciate everything. So thanks for coming by. And you all know, if I'm in Discord, you're more than welcome to join. So hopefully you'll come back.
Well, thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
So we will. With that said, down in this speak. There we go. Rubber Burner again. We forget how to talk. Anyhow, my partner in crime, Rubber Burner, he's down in the description. Make sure you go stop over, give him a like, check out his videos. And for the County Line series, you kind of have to, or you will get behind. So stop over there if you haven't already. If you haven't already, what the heck's holding you back? Do it. Go check them out. PCSG's down listed below, where I'm also a staff member. I got my own little neck of the world over there. So stop in, say hi. When they ask you to give your little blurb about, so people can meet you, tell them DoughBoy sent you. Same thing with 3 Dudes Gaming. I'm a network member over there. Stop in, say hi, check them out. Great forums. A lot of PG rated channels, even some G rated, a lot of G rated channels and some PG, I should put it that way. But good content. I definitely recommend it also. If I have it listed on my recommendeds, check them out. They're great. Have a great time, guys. Hopefully have a good weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow. Happy farming. God bless you all. Bye-bye.